Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to DeadVerse, where strays thrive and zombies die. I'm your host, DeadVerse, bringing you the best in Black Ops 3 custom zombies gameplay. This time, I'm over the Dead Bridge with soft-spoken ASMR and interesting facts and lore about this amazing and stunning Alcatraz prison. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest content. Let's get started. So, Mob of the Dead is a very interesting map. One of the maps that I feel as though changed zombies forever and for the better. And saying that, Mob of the Dead is set in the infamous Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary in San Francisco, California, evoking the eerie atmosphere of one of America's most notorious prisons. What an interesting map for it to be on an island, isolated from the outside world. The map's layout is based on real Alcatraz blueprints featuring authentic elements such as the cell blocks, showers, and the warden's office. I believe the warden is Brutus, if I'm not mistaken. Very interesting. Many textures and environmental details are directly scanned from Alcatraz, lending the map a genuine, weathered look. Which, the developers did say one time that they did go on the island, specifically Alcatraz, to do a research. And so that helped a lot when it came to how the map was designed. Eerie fog and dramatic lighting effects contribute to its chilling, immersive ambiance. And this is true. If you notice, the map is pretty dark. It has a lot of blue colors, blue water. It makes you feel immersive on the island itself. The one-way journey to the Golden Gate Bridge serves as a location for Pack-a-Punch, emphasizing the map's claustrophobic and cylindrical design. And we notice that because if you start in the main room, you're in afterlife mode, signaling that the cycle is beginning again. The electric chairs on the bridge not only fit the prison motif, but also function as a teleportation method back to Alcatraz, symbolizing an eternal cycle. And if you notice in this video, in the background, there are chairs, and it says, "Can you escape?" And, well, you'll be the judge of that. Haunted whispers, ghostly screams, and the creak of cell doors is scattered throughout, intensifying the unsettling atmosphere. And in the original Mob of the Dead, you could hear a lot of that. Of course, we're on the Golden Gate Bridge, so maybe it's not as clear, however. It's still pretty terrifying to think about. The warden's office contains hidden tally marks and messages that hint at previous escape attempts. So if you go to the warden's office on the original Mob of the Dead, you notice these marks and messages. And so it signifies that it was difficult for them to escape. In certain areas, players can hear ghostly voices, reinforcing a supernatural theme. Mob of the Dead is known for being a dark, twisted map. It's similar to Verrot. However, in this case, you're mobsters trying to fight to get off the island. Mob of the Dead was the first zombies map to offer multiple endings, where choices determine if the cycle is broken or repeated, which I believe is a very interesting choice there by Treyarch. The playable characters are mobsters, criminals who once planned a daring escape from Alcatraz. As you may know, This is based on a real story. One of the characters, Albert Weasel Arlington, is the only character aware of the endless purgatory loop. And the main reason is because he is the main threat to the mobsters. And so, being the main threat, you become self aware of your surroundings. The other mobsters that are playable on the map, Sal DeLuca, Billy Handsome, and Finn O'Leary, are responsible for murdering Weasel in the past. I believe this is based on the real life story where the four mobsters try to escape Alcatraz Island and one got left behind. And so that takes inspiration from that. The cycle continues until Weasel breaks it by exacting revenge on his former partners. As you know in the Easter egg, you can choose to murder him or make it so that he survives. Brutus, the warden, acts as the enforcer of this eternal loop, keeping the mobsters trapped. The cycle is hinted to be governed by otherworldly forces, often linked to the Shadow Man or Ether entities, which, Mob of the Dead is connected to Shadows of Evil in a certain way, so that makes sense. The storyline exists in an alternate dimension separate from the main Ether timeline. Is it? I mean, somewhat, but it's still part of it in some way. Maybe just separate, but I'm not so sure. Prison cells bear blood-stained writings and broken items, remnants of failed escape attempts, as I said before with the tally marks, and messages on the walls. Blood everywhere. It kind of signifies that something dark and eerie was going on. The mobster's method of execution through the electric shares explains the recurring respawns. And it is a prison cell, so that makes a lot of sense. So, that's very terrifying. Radio messages and newspaper clippings suggest that Group 935 may have used Alcatraz for secret experiments. Mob of the Dead introduces a ghostly state where players become spirits to solve puzzles and progress through the map. The distinctive blue aura seen in Afterlife mode nods to near-death experiences reported about real Alcatraz inmates, which is pretty terrifying to say the least. Stories of ghost sightings and eerie occurrences in Alcatraz directly influenced the creation of Afterlife mode. In this mode, players can view hidden messages and symbols invisible during normal gameplay. Afterlife mode allows players a chance to revive themselves without waiting for teammates, which is also the reason why this map doesn't have quick revive, the first of its kind. The dialogue changes in Afterlife suggest that characters remember previous cycles, deepening the lore. So meaning the first time we played most likely wasn't the first time that they played. Brutus delivers cryptic messages, hinting at his awareness of the loop and the inevitability of the cycle. The electrical puzzles represent the mobster's desperate attempt to rewire or alter their fate. If the cycle isn't broken, players can hear Weasel's ghostly cries echoing through the corridors. That's pretty scary and ominous. Certain walls display messages like "I know the way" that are only visible in Afterlife mode. This hybrid weapon, a mix between a blunderbuss and a Gatling gun, became one of the most iconic weapons in zombies, known as the Blundergat. I believe was it the first shotgun? I think it was the first shotgun type. The acid gat kit upgrades the blunder gat to fire explosive acid rounds. And also, the first time you build something to craft on the wonder weapon. When you pack-a-punch the blunder gat, it becomes a sweeper, a more powerful variant. Now this is without the acid gat. Now with the acid gat and the weapon itself combined, when upgraded, it turns into the vitriolic withering. A fiery tomahawk earned by feeding hellhounds stands out for a unique design. Surround the map, there are 3 hellhounds, and so you need to feed them dead zombies. And once that is completed, you go down into, I believe it's a cellar, and the tomahawk, or Hell's Retriever in this case, is there waiting for you. When you upgrade it, it turns into the Hell's Redeemer, which is the blue version of itself. The Hell's Retriever that does more damage. I think it's infinite, I believe. I'm not so sure, it's been a while. A weapon you can get on this map that's a melee weapon, exclusive to Mob of the Dead, also Blood of the Dead, the Golden Spork. It's pretty lethal until round 34. I think it's the first of its kind that you can do an Easter egg to get. One of the main key components that you get on this map is the Warden's Key. It's used to unlock certain areas of the map for pieces for the airplane, and also progression. A new perk was introduced on this map known as Electric Cherry. When reloading, it shocks zombies near your vicinity. And fun fact, this is the only map that has the Electric Cherry machine. It could be maybe because it's an alternate dimension, or most likely because of the theme of this map, where the mobsters replay the cycle until it's broken. One of the things Brutus can do is lock brick machines and the mystery box, which makes players having to use points to unlock them. Mob of the Dead features a distinctive death machine power-up, complete with unique sound effects and animation. Now, I don't think they mean power-up specifically. I think what they meant was that you can get it from the mystery box, which is, I think, the only map in history to have that ability. Feels nice. Scattered plane parts require players to build a plan for escape, tying into the map's larger narrative. It's similar to the real life story. Instead of it being a boat raft, it's a plane, using it to escape from the wretched and dark eerie island. The cycle continues unless players choose to break the cycle by ensuring Weasel wins in the final confrontation. Cryptic radio's messages reference other zombie maps, hinting at an overarching storyline. A hidden grave near the bridge symbolizes Weasel's doomed fate in the purgatory loop. And, I mean, that's pretty dark, I would say. A chalkboard and the tunnels displays calculations related to the cycle's repetitive nature. Certain spots emit ghostly whispers and zombie growls, further heightening the map's suspenseful atmosphere. The blood patterns on walls sometimes change between rounds, hinting at the cyclical nature of events. Which, I mean, I never knew that the walls had blood that changed often. I mean, maybe I just didn't notice it while playing. Maybe you will if you go play too. occasional mutterings like you can't escape from Brutus underscore the inevitability of the cycle. So he's just taunting you and making you feel. I mean, who knows? Maybe you can escape. Maybe he's just being rude. On the bridge, the wind sometimes carries sounds that resemble whispering voices, adding to the supernatural lore. Alcatraz opened in 1934 and was designed to house the most dangerous criminals in the US. I mean, there are a lot of dangerous criminals out there, like Ted Bundy and so much more. However, it eventually closed down, I believe in the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken, and so some of them never got the chance to be there. And as you all know, it is now a tourist attraction for people in San Francisco, California, and around the world to visit. I've been to San Francisco, but not specifically on Alcatraz Island. I would like to go there sometime. Notable figures like Al Capone was once imprisoned there, echoing the mobster's theme of the map. Prisoners and guards alike have reported ghostly apparitions and unexplained noises within its walls. The map's design reflects real underground tunnels used in Alcatraz for secretive purposes. Which, I mean, that's kind of dark if you think about it. I'm not sure what went down there. Who knows? Could have been experiments, could have been torture, could have been humiliation. I mean, no one really knows, but what is known is that Alcatraz, but specifically One with the Dead, was a twisted, crazy place. The escape-proof nature of Alcatraz inspired the map's design, trapping players in a perpetual cycle. Yeah, I mean, the design of it is that you go from top to bottom, cell to cell, room to room, darkness to darkness, and it's just so like eerie and just mind blowing how everything just looks. It's amazing that it captures that essence that you're there. The notorious 1962 escape attempted by Frank Morris and the England brothers adds to the legend, much like Weasel's own schemes. Modern visitors to Alcatraz often report hearing screams and mysterious sounds found on the map's audio cues, which is, I mean, just mind blowing that stuff like that exists, but it just shows the deep, cynical nature of this map and its real life counterparts. Alcatraz had its own power plant, an inspiration for the intricate electrical puzzles and the afterlife mode. As you know, when you go into afterlife mode, you go to the bottom of the map and there are three panels. And so it's for one of the pieces. And in order to do so, you need to remember the numbers and input them. If you get it right, you get the piece for the plane. When you come back from afterlife mode after being on the Golden Gate Bridge, you must revive yourself and get 5 tanks all around the map. I believe they're the same locations, which is pretty nice, and it shows that the cycle begins again. That's just mind blowing that it keeps on going and it doesn't stop there. The prisoner's execution chamber was long rumored to be haunted, echoing the map's grim theme. Some former guards avoided night shifts due to persistent reportings of paranormal activity, underscoring the eerie legacy of Alcatraz. Mall of the Dead is regarded as one of the greatest zombie maps ever created, thanks to its innovative design and rich lore. Honestly, this map is what saved Black Ops 2, because, as you may know, this map is the first map to have a different director. The original idea was to have Jimmy Zielinski finish creating the rest of the maps. However, due to poor reception of Transit and Die Rise, they had a new director known as Jason Blundell, who became the director of Mob of the Dead. Because of the success of Mob of the Dead, they had him to create Origins, which is another map for another day. Let me know in the comments if you would like that map to be featured on this channel. Mob of the Dead was one of the few maps that got remastered into Blood of the Dead, expanding its story and gameplay in Black Ops 4. It was so unfortunate though, because I feel like a lot of people didn't really like Blood of the Dead, even though it's amazing. I just think most likely is that it was a different cast and maybe that vibe wasn't captured as much, or the idea of like not being able to afterlife and get on the plane just didn't satisfy people. But I mean, it's okay. We're here for ASMR, and that's what I deliver. Many players consider it to have the best horror atmosphere in the zombie series, which, I mean, it is somewhat true, although Root does capture that eeriness of the prison because it's a German prison. And I mean, personally, I think both maps are great for being able to make you feel as though you're there, locked up, unable to return to what you love. Its memorable soundtrack, notably Where We Are Going, has become a staple of zombies music history. Treyarch developers have repeatedly cited Mob of the Dead as one of the proudest creations, cementing its legacy and zombies lore. And Mob of the Dead is a great map. Thanks to Treyarch for creating it, for making such a wonderful creation. Mob of the Dead is one of the few maps to have secret perks on the map and accessible to the player, those being Mule Kick and PhD Flopper. Also, fun fact, in the Grief mode version, where you play as the prisoners and the police, Juggernog is not on the map. I believe this was to incite people to not play the map, since PhD Flopper and Mule Kick were on that version. Blood of the Dead has more cutscenes than Mob of the Dead, most notably the warden talking to the premise crew. Also, Blood of the Dead has a boss fight unlike Mob of the Dead. Mob of the Dead is just trying to repeat the cycle over and over. One of the most important things about Mob of the Dead was that I believe it was the first map in history to have extensive research and extensive timing. I believe Die Rise released around January, and this map didn't come out until April. 3 months. That's a pretty big gap, meaning that it took a lot of time to create this masterpiece. Also, Mob of the Dead is one of the few maps to only have the AK-47, with its crisp sound and iconic Pack-a-Punch name, the Reznov's Revenge. It also has the LSAT, which is a notorious light machine gun, and the Mini Uzi, when its Pack-a-Punch stands for Uncle Gal. shoots fast, and does its job. Mob of the Dead is one of the few maps with only 5 perks, being Juggernog, Speed Cola, Deadshot, Electric Cherry, and Double Tap. Mob of the Dead is one of the first maps to have a lockdown sequence for needing one of the parts for the plane, that being in the laundry area when you're trying to get the laundry. Mob of the Dead has seen by many as a map that should be in the Hall of Fame. One thing that makes Mob of the Dead stand out is the fact that it's an island surrounded by water. The only maps ever since then to have this feature is Setsumo no Shima and Terminus Island. Or are there more maps? I mean, I need to go back to my history, but probably there is. I will have to wait and see. You can let me know in the comments if there are more maps. Mob of the Dead is a map set in the United States of America, on the West Coast specifically. As you may know, there are scrolls on this bridge. Might have seen it earlier, but was most likely signify either the mobsters or people trying to escape and not making it out alive in the dark night time. One of the main reasons Mob of the Dead was created was to make it stand out amongst the rest of the maps, to give it a sense of dread and suffering. Mob of the Dead is the first map in history to have a different starting music sound. From World at War to Black Ops 2 Die Rise, the music sound was the same. However, in Mob of the Dead, it has a certain eerie sound, kind of like a high, low pitched sound. It's pretty nice to hear actually, if you take the time to listen. And also, that made it so that the rest of the maps after it had a distinct sound. Mob of the Dead has something unique about its appearance. It makes you feel like you're trapped somewhere, unlike any other maps, which make you feel like you have an opportunity to escape. But this map, this map does a lot to get to you and to make you feel inside. Mob of the Dead is also a map with perks, not necessarily perk bottles, but power-ups that you can get from the prison cells if you use the afterlife mode. Another feature of this map is the acid trap, which when you press in the cafeteria releases green acid. This is also the first map to have a unique mystery box appearance, kind of something from the dark side below. It's like a red, ominous box symbolizing, I believe, purgatory. Also, the teddy bear inside is a key lock instead of the typical teddy bear figure. I believe it also has a different announcer too. I think it's the warden. So it's much different. As you know, it stands out as being a different map. Now, for more facts, let's see. Mob of the Dead has seen many fan arts and many custom logos for its map. There are many variants of Brutus and the Hellhounds. in, I believe, 2019, 2020, in the files from All the Dead, originally, there was going to be a mode where you would play and try to keep Richtofen's head in your hand. There are videos online showcasing what Richtofen's head looked like. It's pretty scary. It's animated too, and it moves. You can hold it, grab it, and it just, yeah, it's kind of eerie. Now, when it comes to other things in this map, the acid gap can attract zombies, such as like a monkey bomb. You shoot it on the ground, then the zombies go for it. Even when you upgrade it, it still has that same function. Now, I understand this is Black Ops 4. However, the remake of Blood of the Dead has the magma gap, similar to the acid gap. However, it has one shot, and it does a lot of damage. The Blood of the Dead version of Mob of the Dead is expanded upon, including industries and many more areas. Recently, there has been files found in Black Ops 2 suggesting that Mob of the Dead was originally going to be a much bigger map, similar to how Blood of the Dead became, which is crazy to think about. I mean, the fact that this map could have been much bigger, I believe, is due to the limitations back then, such as transit. Alright guys, well, thank you for listening to ASMR of Mob of the Dead Bridge Edition. If you like this video, please consider liking, following, and subscribing for more. I appreciate you guys listening to hidden facts and lore of Mob of the Dead. And until then, my strays, we thrive when zombies die. I hope you have a good one.